Yeah, and that's so concerning for G1 because they lack the ice. This roster did, at least in year 2. Lack the ice that we saw from them in year 1. You add suppressed, you see the ice. You saw some clutch closeout game 4s, game 5s there. We saw a little bit more of that previous 2023 V1 roster with the likes of Svspector on it, but now you have Svspector popping off here for Sentinels.
And it's wild because it was just minutes ago we were watching Collect popping off on Livefire, right? Who was the former Sentinels teammate, and now who do we have added to that roster? It's Svspector with a triple kill, and it's just been the story of those roster changes and the new players really showing up with something to prove. Here comes RyaNoob, an established player, an experienced player, hopefully using that experience to get the edge, but it's the mental edge as Mental secures the double kill, and now this hill is tied for time.
Tied for time, tied in this series. The 8-9 seed in the HCS. This one could not be any closer as we start to see Rebellion separate here with a little bit of scoring on their own. Mental doing a great job here, anchoring the back B side, and his presence alone is going to push Sentinels through mid. They're not even going to challenge on that A side. That's all because of the positioning here from the Gears of War pro. Now looking like a Halo pro instead. Fighting almost in a 1v4 situation. He's going to need some help though.
Oh, and here comes the push. He turns his back at the wrong second, but what does he do? He makes the most out of it, setting up some early damage, enough to get an assist. Only a few seconds left for Rebellion to win over the hill, but here comes Sentinels. They're contesting. Karmea tries to step foot on. He needs to survive for about 3 seconds. It's enough time to get the hill capture right before Sentinels can make the push. But look at the setup. Sentinels have hill number 2 locked down.
That is exactly what you need there. Sentinels played that perfectly. The previous series, we saw Tusk try to desperate in for a hill that had no chance of flipping into Complexity's favor. The same here for Sentinels. They realized that. They didn't send 2-3 to helplessly push for a B hill that wasn't even going to be there after all. They instead rotate the snipe tower, have the early positioning, but despite all that, this is unbelievable. Sentinels had all 4 stacked up on the snipe tower, looking like one of those mobile games where you have a tower defense set up and it's level 100. You just spent $100. Instead, though, Sentinels lose hill control, lose overshield control, lose numbers control, and go 3 down. How?
If Rebellion come out with this win, you have to pin it on that moment that Sentinels let the game slip through their fingers. They get distracted by overshield and they get lured out of that objective positioning. I don't know what the answer is. But they're going to pay for it here in the end as Rayne finds the takedown onto Spartan. Now using the repulsor jump to get top mid, but there's 2 players from Sentinels rushing through top mid. RyaNoob is on the run. He's not going to escape. Sentinels need to rally quickly. But look at how much time Rebellion already have on hill number 2.
Hey, but it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And now Sentinels, KingNick has that sniper at the snipe tower. That's the alliteration. That's the parallel of snipers that you need to have if you're Sentinels to come back on this hill and tie it at 1.
Need to tie up this game at 1 apiece. So many times we've seen early games on King of the Hill Livefire in particular, where the early game decides the outcome. Rebellion are looking to set the pace with the early game. If they can get the 2-0, they have a little bit of numbers advantage, but Spartan matches it. Now Karmea last alive. What numbers advantage they had was absolutely stripped away as all 4 for Rebellion go down. Sentinels now could lock down this objective. Rebellion will have 1 more chance to break their hold.
Oh, this is tricky because do you want overshield or you want the hill? It looks like Sentinels doesn't have enough time to where Rebellion is going to be allowed to play for both. Yes, here we go. Mental with that trap screen. No, he doesn't get the overshield. Instead, it's Sparty stealing the overshield and likely this hill as well.
Get back just in time. He had help from KingNick to clear off the hill. Spartan with the overshield, with the heat wave, is holding on to the objective. Needs about 5 more seconds of time, and just like that, Sentinels tie up this game after a clutch overshield win from Spartan.
Sparty, can you do something for me? Wow, unbelievable play there on the overshield side, then rotating into the hill to tie it at 1. Great play there from the likes of Sparty. As he's sitting at 4 and 5. Again, just goes to show you can be negative in a game, but still have a positive impact on your team.
All about having a positive impact. Sometimes it's the smallest plays that can make the biggest difference. pile them together, especially when there's just the thinnest thread of difference between these two teams who have been at each other's throat throughout Season 2. Back and forth has this rivalry been between Sentinels Rebellion. They've been trading off seating position. Who's going to take the advantage might most likely be determined by this series right here, right now. Svspector trying to stay alive using the shroud screen for cover, but is it enough? It is! He finds the back of Rayne instead, and off of 1 HP, he finds a double kill and is back at full strength.
Wow, and it's been, if this is to score for Sentinels, this will be 2 back-to-back miracle steals as Rebellion, as far as the eye test, has looked like the better team in this one, but it doesn't matter what it looks like. The end result is what we live with, and Rebellion on the verge of having a comeback hill here. Sentinels seem to have a full A control setup.
Have the full setup, but Rebellion only need to break through 1 time. They only need about 7 seconds of time, but Sentinels are quickly creeping up on that time of their own, and they're right there. Here comes the push. Svspector's taken down, though. He doesn't get the trade on kills. RyaNoob at the top of sandbags, but Lethul deals the damage to force him away, but it's Rebellion who are on the objective. It's Karmea with the overshield. They're stealing the hill right back to take the lead 2-1.
Wow, yeah, this one feels like it, right? One team steals one thing and the other has to counter with another steal, as we see that from Rebellion. A double kill headshot, quick scope from Carmea, the likes of which we might have seen in Halo 3. I don't even know if he was born when Halo 3 released, though.
Karmea, we talked for a long time about Collect, the Cycle, the young up-and-coming gunners, but Karmea absolutely has to be part of that conversation. The incredible double snipe kill, and he's looking for more. He knows where those respawns are coming in. Here comes the push through cuts. Can he line up another no-scope? He has damage out onto Spartan, but he's gonna flee with his life. Look at this hill, though. Look at how much time Rebellion are already at the 90% mark.
Wow, momentum rolling for the likes of Karmea and Rebellion as they it's seemingly seconds after they score that second hill. They're going to score a third, and this is going to start to steal the hopes. This is going to start to steal the willpower for Sentinels, as you might see them starting to get a little checked out.
Watch out, Spartan, because Karmea might have the sniper, but he also has a repulsor, so if you rush too aggressively, he might just send you off the side of the map. The 360, the mind, the gap. Karmea is going off in this game.
Yeah, and it was the 360 metal that looked flashy, flashed up on your screen, but it was the strong side 360 that I almost wish we had that metal instead of the 360 strong side. That was what we saw there from Karmea as Lethul looks to continue dominating. Oh, but he missed clambers, goes down because of it.
I'm sure the strong siding sound effect could be added to the soundboard, you know? Like, that could happen. It might have to happen.
Strong side.
Flip it. That's it right there. Svspector is clearing a path for the next overshield pickup, but it's not going to be uncontested. Rebellion go 3 down. Sentinels with a little bit of a numbers advantage, but Mental is being a pesky annoyance. In fact, he sneaks away with the overshield. And what does he do? He runs straight into the respawning Sentinels.
And that was all he was trying to do there. It wasn't likely for him to grab overshield, so that was a win itself. And he just kind of went down and said, well, I wasn't supposed to get this anyway, so why don't, how about I die quickly
it's all
afterwards?
Gravy after that.
It's all, exactly, it's all gravy, right? It's almost like an even split. And for Rebellion, you will take that all day as you've built a, not necessarily comfortable or convincing, but a strong 3-1 lead, up 2 with 2 to go.
2 minutes exactly on the clock. Sentinels do have about a third of this hill captured, and they're gonna need it. Time might be their worst enemy, although 2 hills down, they have to play a good balance of objective control and also eyeing that clock at the same time. RyaNoob has the heat wave, has the plasma grenades, has a shroud screen even. Trying to clear off the hill, goes for the contest at first, but he doesn't connect on that heat wave round. Instead, Spartan stays alive, but it's Mental and Rayne collapsing. Numbers advantage for Rebellion, and this is where they decide, do they play for this capture, they play for time? It looks like they are prioritizing the hill.
Yeah,
until now,
they
clear off. They're absolutely playing for the clock.
Yeah, knowing this hill, you got your mosh pit hill top mid, knowing this hill takes so long to secure, they're going to force Sentinels to get these last final seconds, and it could be minutes that come off the clock before they get these last final seconds. So this strategy on full display here for Rebellion. Does it play off?
Cool, I'll tell you what pays off. It's Mental Repulsor Heat Wave combo. And look at that. They run onto the hill to contest it. in order to stop point scoring from Sentinels, and then the second they clear it, they hop right back off. Already, they've burned 30 plus seconds on this hill. It was just at 2 minutes, now a minute 30, but as he's dropped, Sentinels might have control of the overshield. That could be enough to secure this hill, get them within 1.
Hey, yo, and that's impressive for Sentinels. That's 2 instances where the Shroud screen is there for Rebellion, seemingly a get out of jail for free card, or I should say a get an OS for free card, and that's two out of the 2 last scenarios where Sentinels, despite not having the positioning, despite not having the Shroud screen, they have the overshield instead and a chance to tie this at 3.
We've seen a lot of impressive overshield plays where an overshield win leads to that hill control. Sometimes it's a this or that scenario, but this time it's por qué no los dos? Just take both. Just take the overshield, take the objective, and have them both. Lethul gets good work out of that overshield. Sentinels have already early time on the objective, and Lethul just playing his position, right? He knows that his team does not have the numbers, and so he plays that position until he decides to rush in, and unfortunately, it's the team fire from Rebellion that's his undoing.
Rayne looking to anchor that nest, but he's got a lot of pressure, and he's walking into even more. Shroud screen now on the side of Sentinels, and they make good use out of it, taking down Rayne. Sparty now with that heat wave and an extra Shroud screen to work with. This hill, so crucial. Sentinels needing it to tie this game up. Only 40 seconds left, but they have the numbers. They have the positioning. They have Sparty with heat wave. They have 3 down for Rebellion. This is a chance to get some chunk gains.
Okay, I was worried when Spartan stepped off the hill, but that's because there's another teammate holding down the objective. Spartan, because he has the heat wave, because he has that repulsor, is looking for the respawners. Also watching out for that overshield spawn in. It's only seconds away right now for Sentinels to secure the hill. Spartan gets a crucial kill. 2 players, though. It's RyaNoob, it's Karmea, it's Mental as well. All are rushing and then trading out a kill. Sentinels still have numbers.
No way! Sentinels tie it at 3, just as we saw 2 strong hills for Rebellion. Sentinels answer back with arguably even more impressive display of ice in their veins as they have this one tied up. We're looking to go to sudden death.
Okay, but here's the thing, Mikowski. Remember game number 2? Rebellion had the 10-point lead. Sentinels tie it back up, and then in the home stretch, they fell apart.
Yeah.
Rebellion are looking to repeat that process. Karmea is the most powerful player on the map. The kingpin of the roster. Sniper, overshield, and teammates securing the objective. Rebellion haven't been playing for objective time until now.
Yeah, it looked like Carmea was trying to set up for that elbow angle, but instead sees it's not there. Repositions and gets the snipe on KingNick instead. No scope body shot on Sparty, but Sparty sends him off the map with overshield. That was absolutely huge. Just as it looked like Carmea was ready to go on a killing spree and secure this game for Rebellion, Sparty has second thoughts.
Spartan repulses a player out of the hill. We're gonna see some extra time here, some sudden death time. 2 more minutes added to the clock. Rebellion have the hill about halfway captured, and Rayne's double kill might add more time to the clock, but there's no time to breathe. Look at the push here. It's Svspector at the bottom of tunnels and Lethul. Svspector doubles back, waiting for the respawn. Sentinels have time for 1 or maybe 2 more pushes as they regroup. They find the opening pick onto Mental, and that means it's time to go. No time for breaks. It's got to be all gas from Sentinels to get back on this hill. Rayne playing his life so carefully, but it's KingNick with a kill, and it's Lethul with a kill, and now Rayne is weak and alone trying to use this pillar for coverage, but Sentinels get the team wipe. 4 down for Rebellion.
Oh my god. And just as it looked like Rebellion had the last hold they needed on that hill to win the game, Sentinels clutch up, and you wouldn't expect anything less from the likes of Sparty. He's going to play all the way to the finish, and now you have to worry about not only who's in the hill, but who's setting up for that overshield magic.
And that's what Sentinels have been prioritizing. Time and time again, they play for OS instead of objective time. And this time, it might come back to bite them. KingNick and Lethul. Lethul is the last alive, but Rebellion winning out those slays have the 4th position. Lethul absolutely needs to stay alive. Wait for the respawns, and he does. He stalls for enough time. Sentinels get that respawn onto Nest, but they lost the overshield once again in the hands and the armor of Karmea. Final seconds, the finishing touches on this kill. The last desperate approach coming through. And if this kill goes through, so goes down Sentinels.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause.